Well, President Biden just made a surprise visit to Ukraine, days ahead of the one-year anniversary of Russia's invasion of the country. Biden met with Ukrainian President Zelenskyy in the city's capital, and he's expected to visit Poland next to meet with NATO allies. This trip, though, coming as a majority of Americans still support sending financial aid to Ukraine to help with the war effort, but a growing number of Americans say the U.S. is sending too much aid. Joining us to share the latest on this visit is reporter Alexandria Hoff in Washington, D.C. for us. Alexandria, good to have you this hour.
Good to be with you, Liz. Yeah, this was completely a surprise visit. I mean, for many of us as well. The president was expected to travel to Poland today, leave from Washington. Instead, it appears he had left for Ukraine at some point this weekend. And it was an emotional and a very symbolic time to be visiting this country. It's almost 1 year since the Russian invasion, at a time when many in Ukraine fear that the Russian offensive could really be on the upswing, attacking different parts of the country than they had been previously.
And, I mean, now that the president has made this trip, he's headed to Poland next. We're talking about a year since this whole thing started. And Americans, as we just said, are getting a little bit more weary about sending aid, although they are still polling that they want to help. What does the president tell Americans about this situation at this point?
I think it's going to be very similar to what he told President Zelenskyy today. He said that the country of Ukraine reminds all of us that freedom is priceless, that it's worth fighting for. He then promises that the United States is going to be with the people of Ukraine for as long as it takes, and that's how he said it. Also, though, today there was an additional $500 million pledged in security assistance. We don't know exactly what that package looks like, but the president says details on that will come out in the next couple of days. The president would argue that this is an investment for not only the United States, Ukraine, but for the entire world, especially that eastern flank of NATO that could be in that next firing zone if Russia decides to expand its borders further.
That is a concern that I know a lot of people are watching and waiting to find out more about. And, as Biden heads to Poland now, what's next for this visit? Can you talk about that?
Sure, yeah. The president is going to be meeting with the Polish president. That's expected to take place sometime today. He's also on Wednesday going to meet with what's called the Bucharest Nine. That is, those are leaders from NATO nations that are going to discuss security issues in their region, the longevity of the kind of aid and how it can be used in their regions as well. So that should be pretty pivotal in keeping the alliances together that the president spoke to President Zelenskyy about today.
Alexandria Hoff reporting live for us from Washington, D.C. this morning. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Liz.